What's good, y'all? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're continuing our one from every team series as we do my favorite player from every team. Now, if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you know I don't necessarily like to have favorite players because as somebody that want to work in sports media, I think it's dangerous to have favorite players because, well, you want to be as unbiased as possible when talking about your sport. If I'm a fan of James Harden, I'm going to automatically say that James Harden's better than this player just because I'm a fan of James Harden. So when I say favorite player for this video, I like to think of it more as like if this team is playing, this is the guy I want to see be successful. So keep that in mind. It's not the best player from every team. Actually, I'm looking at my list. A lot of these players aren't even the second best player on their teams, but I really like these players for a specific reason, and I'll tell you why. So first, we got the 76ers, and my favorite player on that squad is Dario Saric. Now, how can it be your favorite player if you pronounce his name wrong? Stop it. Y'all know I'm bad with all European names. But he's my favorite player because before he came over to the league, I was watching highlights of him, and I was really impressed with his playmaking ability. I was hoping that he would come over to the league and showcase that, but this year's kind of hard for him to do that because, well, he's playing with Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons needs the ball. He is the playmaker, you know? So very rarely does Dario get to show that playmaking side. He's like a lot of the other European players that come over. Those guys just have amazing vision for some reason, and Dario's no exception. Hopefully one day he can get to a role where he's one of the primary playmakers, but I like to see Dario play every night. So now we got the Bucks, and my favorite player on the Bucks, it's not Jabari Parker, y'all. Y'all thought it was going to be Jabari, didn't you? Because he's from Chicago. No, it's Sterling Brown because he's from Chicago. But it's different than Jabari Parker went because Sterling Brown went to the high school in the same conference as the high school I went to. So my freshman and sophomore year of high school, when we went against that team, I got to see Sterling Brown play. And he was, well, he was good. Obviously, he's an NBA player now. But he wasn't like so good that I was thinking he was gonna make it to the NBA. So that's why I like him so much, because from some time between high school and get drafted, he increased his game tremendously, and now he's in a rotation on the team that's trying to be good. So shout out to Sterling Brown. I like to see his stat line at the end of the night. When he can put up some decent numbers, I always feel good on the inside. So of course we got our Chicago Bulls next, and my favorite player on the Bulls is Lauri Markkanen, the marksman, the finisher. Now if you follow me on Twitter, on draft night when the Bulls drafted him, I was upset, and I was wrong. I keep telling people, yo, it's okay to be wrong. We talk about sports here. You're gonna be wrong a lot. And I was wrong about him. I thought he was not going to be good. And boom, year number one, he showed me so many things. So many things. And because of that, he's become my favorite player on my favorite team. So shout out to Lauri for proving me wrong and a bunch of other Bulls fans. I wasn't the only one, trust me. But Lauri, you the man. The Cavs. Now, a lot of people going to say Bronny, but listen, how can you not like J.R. Smith, y'all? The dude got suspended for one game from throwing the soup on the assistant coach. Who else in the league would do something that crazy? The Henny God. J.R. Smith is always going to have a place in my heart, regardless if he's having a bad season. So on the Celtics, we get our first superstar, and that's Kyrie Irving. It is so fun to watch Kyrie play. So fun. He can end up with 20 points, which is nothing spectacular, but he'll have like 3 highlight plays of him crossing somebody over, hitting a nasty shot. Kyrie is just one of the most fun players in the league, and I want to see him be successful as the #1 guy on the team. Of course, he's got a ring with LeBron, but he was the #1 guy, so I want him to be successful in Boston. So he is my favorite player on the Celtics. So now we got the Clips, and my favorite player on that team is Patrick Beverley. Chicago, 1, of course, he's here. If you're from Chicago, you got my vote and a lot of things. But 2, if you remember that Zaza Pachulia video I dropped maybe like a week ago, I said there is a thin line between aggressive player and dirty player, and Patrick Beverley is the bona fide aggressive player. Of course, yeah, he did injure Russell Westbrook, but I'm like 99% sure that was an accident. He's just super aggressive. You remember Lonzo Ball's first NBA game? Patrick Beverley was on that. You feel me? He's just such a great defender, and I just love his tenacity, so I like to see him be successful, get well soon. Grizzlies, I gotta go with Marc Gasol, because I feel bad for Marc Gasol right now, man. He said it straight up like a week ago that he's not playing in the G League. He don't care about player progression. He don't care about player development. He wants to compete. Now, y'all know the Memphis Grizzlies are struggling because they're kind of trash. Mike Conley's been out for pretty much this entire season, and they miss a large chunk of time without Marc Gasol. And then with that, and the rest of their team not being good, they're tanking. And Marc Gasol don't want to do that. He don't deserve that. The Hawks got to be Kent Bazemore. Kent Bazemore went from a celebration guy on the Warriors bench to being a starter in the NBA, and a pretty good starter. So I like him for that. Now in the Heat, who else but Dwyane Wade? Since coming back to the Heat, Dwyane Wade has had his moments, man. It's something about that city that gets him going that we didn't see in Chicago, that we didn't see in Cleveland. I'm so happy he's back. He hit the game winner the other night. He had like a 25-point game, then a 27-point game off their bench. The dude is like 36, right? 35, 36. Hornets is Kemba Walker. Again, similar to the Marc Gasol situation, I kind of feel for Kemba Walker because he'll give you 30 a night, and because his team doesn't compete, well, it's an L. They're fighting. They're trying to get that 8 seed. It's gonna be a struggle for them, but they're fighting to try to get it. I want Kemba to be in a place where he can be successful, though. So next we got the Jazz, and it's actually Jonas Jerebko, whatever you want to call him. And it's mostly because there was a video where he did a house tour. One, I'm pretty sure he's into gaming, but that was in that video. But the thing that I remember the most about that video is he's a sneakerhead. And well, y'all can see I kind of want to. So if you like the same things that I like, I gotta be a fan of you. No, he's not the best player on this team. Not even like the best 8 players on this team. But I'm a fan because he's a fan of shoes. Kings, Vince Carter, easily. When you see Vince Carter hit a shot or dunk the ball at age of 40, you gotta feel, I feel nostalgic inside because we're not gonna get much of that because him and a bunch of people from when I started watching ball are getting older in age and they may not be here in a couple years. So I gotta soak in everything that they're doing right now before it's too late. The Knicks, Kristaps. I don't know if there's anybody else in that team that I really care about because when I watch the Knicks play, there's one guy that I want to see be successful. And I have not watched a single Knicks game. Now, I'm not even joking. Not a single Knicks game since his injury. There's no reason for me to watch. That team, I don't want a part of it. No disrespect to Knicks Nation or whatever y'all calling y'allself. It's not for me, bro. I'd rather watch some other team. Lakers is Brandon Ingram. That time Alonzo Ball was out when Brandon Ingram was basically their point guard. I really got to see a different side of Brandon Ingram that I didn't see. His playmaking ability was really, really solid as point guard. BI 14, the point guard. I was really, really excited when he was doing that. And I think he's going to be really, really good. Some people are already counting him out after one season. I think he's going to be real good, y'all. With the Magic, I got to go with Jonathan Simmons. His story is just too great. Borrowed some money to try out for the G League team that was the San Antonio Spurs. Make the team, go on to the Spurs main team, and then boom, he's got a nice contract in Orlando. Great story, and because of that, I'm a fan. Mavericks, it's Dirk. Similar to Vince Carter, similar to Dwyane Wade. He's getting up there in age, so whenever he does anything, I gotta be watching before it's too late, before I got nothing but memories. The Nets has gotta be D'Angelo Russell because I actually want to see him prove Magic Johnson wrong. When they traded Magic Johnson and drafted Lonzo Ball, they're like, okay, now we think we got, what do you say? Now we think we have a team leader. Like, dang, that was a shot at D'Angelo Russell, right? So I want D'Angelo to be successful so he could go back to LA and just be like, Magic, you messed up. Nuggets is Gary Harris. And listen, I'm a little salty as a Bulls fan on this one because we drafted him and Yusuf Nurkic, and we traded both of them in a pick for Doug McDermott. Now listen, I would rather have Gary Harris, Yusuf Nurkic, and whatever that pick turned into over Doug McDermott. But not only that, not only just because we had him for a split second, but he's actually really good, man. That Denver Nuggets team, that core is so young. Nikola Jokic is 23, I'm pretty sure. Jamal Murray's 21, and then Gary Harris is like 22. And then Trey Lyles is like 22. 4 of their top 6 guys are under 25 years old. They gonna be successful one of these years. I'm telling y'all, don't sleep. Pacers, Lance. Do I need to say more? If you're not a fan of Lance, what are you doing? One of the most exciting players to watch, and he's not even giving you big numbers. He's doing, like, a lot of times it's just like weird stuff, and you like, who else but Lance? Pelicans, of course, we got to go with Anthony Davis. Now, I'm in a bit of a pickle, y'all, because I want to see Anthony Davis and the Pelicans make the playoffs, but y'all know the Bulls have their first round pick. So I kind of want that pick to be in the lottery too. But then again, I want Anthony Davis to be successful. But then again, I want a nice draft pick. I'm tug of war right now. And, well, Anthony Davis has shown this month that he can be really, really good. I mean, we've known this since he was drafted, basically. But I guess the rest of the world is starting to realize how good Anthony Davis is this month. So, welcome. Welcome to the rest of us. We knew this. We've been here. Pistons is Blake Griffin. And it has really nothing to do with his own court stuff. But, like, he does stand-up comedy. He was on that coldest balls with Kevin Hart. He's just a very charismatic guy, at least in my eyes. And because of that, well, if you can be funny and you got a nice message behind everything you do, you're probably going to get my vote. Raptors, Fred VanVleet. Y'all knew this though. Chicago, well, I mean, not really Chicago. It's a little outside Chicago, but Illinois. We'll keep it at that. Illinois. And then I like to see, he went to Wichita State, and I didn't know much about that team. I always watched March Madness, but I didn't know much about that team. But it was a team that was in a small conference, so I was always rooting for them a little bit to shock the world. Get it? Because their team name is Shock Rockets. It's a tie between, of course, who else but James Harden, because, I mean, James Harden's so good. Wesley Johnson, RIP. And PJ Tucker, sneakerhead. Every night he's swooping in a different pair of sneaks, and they're always either just like really hype or just really nice shoes. So PJ Tucker, one of the biggest sneakerheads in the league, and I want to see his whole collection. I don't know if it's out there on the internet somewhere, but I want to see his whole collection. Spurs, Manu. I'm telling y'all, the guy still got, he may got 1 or 2 more years left in him. He has those games where you like, is he 30 or is he 40? Is he 30 or is he 40? And I feel like he's going to have one big game in the playoffs that's going to help them win a game. Manu's a guy, the block from last year on James Harden. He's super old, but super talented. Hate that so many players from my childhood, they're retiring, and it sucks. Suns, easily Devin Booker. There's not many other players on that team I root for. So it's got to be Devin Booker. The guy can fill it up. Really good at scoring the ball. Hopefully one day he'll get enough teammates around him where he can help the Suns win something. And they're not in the lottery every year. Thunder. It's a tie between Steven Adams and Nick Collison. The man Nick Collison has been with this organization for 13 years, y'all. He was there before they moved to OKC. He was in Seattle. He was basically one of the last people to stand there. He's still on the roster. He's still on the roster. He's found a way to just be there. And I think that's pretty impressive. If you don't play and your team is like, you know what, we're not gonna waive him, we gonna waive somebody else. That means either like he's gotta be an amazing locker room guy. Everybody gotta love him, you feel me? But with Steven Adams, I think he's very underappreciated around the league. He does all the dirty work, and that goes unnoticed a lot, but he getting the recognition in this video. Timberwolves, it's Taj. Oh my God, y'all shocked it's not Jimmy Butler? Trailblazers CJ McCollum, because he was a journalism major at Lehigh. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure after his NBA career is over, he's gonna get into broadcasting and all that stuff. And he's somebody I look up to when I read the pieces that he writes. He finds times to write while also in the NBA. That's pretty impressive to me. So, as somebody that wanted to do journalism and wants to be in sports media, he's somebody I look up to. And because of that, he's one of my favorite players. The Warriors is Klay Thompson. He's got one of the best jobs in the NBA. Oh, you want me to sit right here and shoot the ball and you throw it to me? Cool. Cool. I can do that. I'm not saying it's an easy job because he's one of the best in the league, but he's just got one of the sweetest gigs in the world. That's why when people say he's not going to resign, I'm like, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he resign? He's got everything he can want. He's got a competing team in the role that literally he can just sit there. I know he put a lot of energy on defensive side, guarding the best ball handler and everything, but offensively, he sit there, and when he get the ball, he knock it down. Perfect. And then he's so awkward and everything. Y'all, it's hard to dislike Klay. You can dislike the Warriors all you want, but you can't tell me you dislike Klay. I'm not going to believe you because it's impossible. And last but not least, the Wizards, I got Kelly Oubre because he's kind of a hype beast. If you look over here, I got some hype beast stuff. And I'm not a hype beast, but when I see somebody like hooping in Supreme stuff, I'm thinking like, oh, okay. All right, you know, it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, all right. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comment section below some of your favorite players. I don't expect you to give me your favorite player from all 30 teams because that'd be a long comment, but just let me know, like, okay, here it is. Let me know your favorite player on what team for just some weird reason. Like, I like PJ Tucker because of shoes. You feel me? So let me know the weirdest reason you like an NBA player. That's the best way to word it. Thank y'all. Peace.